USA Baseball and NFHS announced they're expanding new drop weights for high school baseball starting in 2028. Drop 3 has been the standard, but now high schoolers will be able to use drop 4, 5, 6. For those who might not understand what I'm talking about, drop 3 is the numerical difference between the bat's length and its weight. So if a bat is 31 inches and 28 ounces, it's a drop 3. Why are they doing this? USA Baseball President John Gall says, we've seen too many athletes entering high school baseball struggle with the immediate jump to the drop 3 weight and then walk away from the game. This rule change creates flexibility for players to continue building strength, refining mechanics, and developing bat speed over time before making the jump to USA BB Core. It's totally lit a fire, I would say, on baseball Twitter from heavy criticism from coaches, former MLB players, average Joes, claiming someone's going to get killed if an MLB prospect can essentially swing a 37-31. I've personally talked to a couple coaches. They kind of echo the same sentiment. One even said that they see 13-year-olds right now swinging a drop 5 with an exit velo in the 90s. Now, that might be an outlier. I don't know. But on the other end, there has been pushback by other people using data. They claim a lighter bat does not increase bat speed, and the less mass should mean the less exit velo. So,
well, listen, I think I could weigh in on this one as someone who has had their rib broken with a comebacker off a wood bat. In all seriousness, hey, pitchers can get hurt, right? Like, it happens. We see it happen, and it can happen. It's not just MLB speeds. It can happen at all levels. I'm glad it only hit my rib, right? Not directly my chest plate or my face. I don't know enough about the details of this. I know what you said. There are proponents who are saying, hey, like the bigger drop number for a high school age kid doesn't increase the exit velo because it's a lighter bat and therefore there's less mass. So it may have more velocity, but if there's less mass, you're ending up in the same spot. And the BB core is engineered in such a way that they still have to perform by the same specifications and act like a wood bat. And in other words, like, hey, the drop 6 may be engineered in such a way that it's not coming off hot or even swung at the same speed or a higher rate of speed. So I think there's a little bit of, I don't know. I suspect there's a little bit of both going on here. There's probably some math that says it's not as dangerous as people think. But at the same time, players are now growing up using, somewhat outrageous bats. They're swinging these drop 9, 10, whatever it is at age 10. And then they get to 13 and 14, and now this bat feels heavy, right? So, I don't think that's best for the development of the athlete. And then go a step further. And I would say, in my experience, the bigger drop off at 13 as a player, as a parent, just as a general human being who understands baseball, it's a lot of times people can't make the throw from the pitcher's mound or third base once the field goes 90-60, right? So I'm sure there's some kids who struggle with the bat weight, but if they're struggling with the bat weight, is that a result of the bat being too heavy or the fact that they grew up swinging these like outrageously engineered bats that don't simulate anything in reality? I suspect it's more of the latter than the former.
Yeah, a lot of some of the pushback was from some people was if you're not swinging a drop 3 by 14 or 15 years old, you're probably not going to be recruited anyway. Now, obviously, playing high school baseball is not all about being recruited; it's about experience and stuff. But there was some sentiment there as well. I think the optimist in me would be thinking like, as the scrutiny for safety and background checks and all this stuff comes down from Congress, and we're seeing more and more of it, and we're seeing more stuff in the news. I gotta imagine USA Baseball, BB Core, which is the gold standard right now in baseball, you got to imagine they've done thousands and thousands, maybe millions of simulations to be like, hey, we just can't implement this rule and then put player safety, in jeopardy because the pushback and it would be terrible. I mean, it would be BB Core would have to go out of business essentially and stuff due to like lawsuits or whatnot and everything. So I got to imagine that's a thing.
Well, this is the question I would have. It is if you're going to say it's safer or not worse, and I saw some of the guys doing equations, which are well over my head on X, but let's assume they're accurate, right? I assume the outcome there is this bat swung harder with less mass produces the same exit velo, not more, right? Or even less. Some people have argued even less. If it's a lighter bat, it's a whole momentum thing. Fine. The question I would like to know the answer to, and I'm not sure how you measure it, is that lighter bat in the hands of a more capable, stronger player more likely to produce repeated sweet spot contact, right? This isn't just about the speed of the bat coming off the ball. That has to be married with the fact that the guy timed it perfectly to hit a line drive right up the middle, 5 feet off the ground, right? Like that is, that's kind of like the apex of baseball hitting if you're able to produce that. So as the lighter bat, it's not just the speed, it's the likelihood and frequency that which someone is hitting line drives directly up the middle. I suspect the math isn't just a simple equation on that, but it's more of a, preponderance of baseball data things. This guy more likely to hit line drives when he swings a lighter bat. Those two things have to be taken hand in hand. I think a lot of arguments just in society in general, they will win on the math, right? They'll win on the laboratory controlled result of the argument, but then it doesn't take into account the real world consequences of that thing, right? So that's again, I don't know the answer there. That would be my question.
When I talked to a coach, he said, I wonder if this is USA Baseball getting in front of the fact that pitchers are now throwing harder. So that's why they need these lighter bats for kids to increase their bat speed and hopefully get onto the ball, because that's what a lot of people are saying. Like you said, I mean, kids are bigger, faster, stronger here. Another thing is, will D1 prospects, college prospects, MLB prospects, will they swing drop 4, drop 5, drop 6? Because right now in the NCAA, all they allow is drop 3. That will change recruiting data and verified data, which we'll get into later in this episode, being like, hey, this kid swings a drop 6. Can he still produce the results that he's producing in college when they require swinging a drop 3? So that might just be, maybe people are seeing a headline right now and it'll come out that, hey, most kids are still going to swing drop 3. Maybe they'll go down to drop 4.